Greetings and welcome to this week's CCRP Update. CCRP Jamaica is a non-profit, non-denominational and non-political membership organization for individuals aged 40 and over. Our mission: to ensure talent, experience and wisdom of seniors are respected, to ensure seniors enjoy the quality of life they deserve, to empower seniors to continue contributing to their communities, country and region. This program is proudly brought to you by Juicy Patties, always serving the land we love. From serving seriously good Jamaican food to empowering our communities, Juicy is proud to nourish Jamaica in every way. In this week's update, it's an early start to the 139th birthday party anniversary of Jamaica's first national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Garvey. We'll be joined by Dr. Leahcim Semaj, psychologist, author, speaker, consultant, and more. And a remarkable twist is that he shares Garvey's birthday anniversary, so that should be awesome. And he'll center his thoughts on Garvey's life and legacy. But first, a little family business. Help us to continue advocating for your rights and assisting seniors in need. When you're a CCRP member, you're actively supporting the rights of seniors and the elderly, and particularly in participating in our outreach programs. We're currently calling for the completion of documents for the Elderly Care and Protection Act. We also have written to the Jamaica Bankers Association regarding accessibility to ATMs for wheelchair users. Send that to the authorities. We have been in touch about life certificate issues and landlord-tenant complaints. We're always looking out for our seniors. As a CCRP member, you can make great savings with discounts of up to 30% from our over 100 discount partners. You're 40 years old or over, you're eligible to join CCRP. For a fee of only $3,000 a year, and that's Jamaican dollars, CCRP opens up a whole world of exciting events. We have low-cost exercise sessions, informative Zoom meetings, regular updates on important benefits, excursions, socials, wellness, and lifestyle events. And CCRP offers 2 health insurance plans underwritten by Sagicor and an international health plan underwritten by Lloyd's of London. There's also the BCIC JNGI Silver Shield plan for motor and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. For more information or to join online, visit our website, ccrponline.org. On next Sunday's program, we will be joined by Mrs. Hermin Metcalf, a pharmacist, who will give some helpful advice on responsible use of prescription medication. And now to the core of today's update. Tomorrow, August 17, Jamaicans at home and abroad, along with all lovers of human rights, dignity, and such the like, prepare to celebrate the 139th anniversary of the birth of Jamaica's first national hero, Marcus Garvey. That's tomorrow, don't forget. And so we say a big welcome and howdy to psychologist, author, speaker, consultant, mentor, brethren, friend, Dr. Leahcim Semaj. How are you doing, my boss?
Alive and well, my brother. Alive and well.
Wonderful. It's always such a good thing to be with you because you send on the way it is. And we love that. We love the clarity. We love the frankness. So let's talk Garvey. Oh, by the way, I hope tomorrow is smashing for you as well because, yeah, you're there too. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Doc. What are some of the key things that we need to bear in mind as we celebrate once again our first national hero?
I want to start on a kind of a sour note.
Yes.
That, the fact that Garvey was named our first national hero. But I think this all smoke and mirrors, this talk, because the Philosopher's Opinion of Garvey was published in 2 volumes, 1923 and final 1925. So 1925 could be technically is the official centenary of the publication of that important book. There was not one word in Jamaica, except from me and a few other people. In fact, I was in a couple of international programs celebrating it and talking about it. But if our country, if it's our first national hero, something as important as that book, the 100th anniversary of it, and to add more to it, all the things that Garvey has mapped out in his 2 volume, plus all his other books and his newspapers and so on, none of it, nothing has crept into the culture of Jamaica in terms of the national culture. So I couldn't talk without even putting that on record, that we claim him as national hero, but that's it, words. The UNIA, the Garvey movement, gave colonized population across the Caribbean, Africa, and the diaspora the first experience of organized international Black solidarity.
Mm.
And this influence now fed into the whole independence movement that followed.
Yes.
In Africa and the diaspora. So it's an important activity, and the fact that he did what he did was just, and look, we're talking about social media now and all those things. We never had any such thing. The man just, he created a newspaper and he published a book. Remember, he was a printer, so at least he knew about
it.
Yeah. So that was important because look, printing, is one of the ancient capacity. Printing books and distributing them. It's a very important. Maybe the fact that he came from that background, so he knew the power of the written word. Yes.
Yes, that's amazing. That's important stuff. The colonized countries, it's broad. It's really the formerly colonized countries, and that whole movement gave us the fact that we were entitled to an identity. It's like almost even after slavery and whatnot, there was still not that identity in people's minds because their reality was coming up short. Talk to us a little bit about that. Garvey's
Absolutely.
reframing of the Black identity. Yeah.
Exactly, because the notion, even again, if we talk about it, even within Jamaica, there were all kinds of other arguments, even all the way down. How do we play down emancipation? Play down. So maybe that's why you play down Garvey and his work as much as we do, because in terms of how Jamaica is controlled and managed. But this whole thing that we as Black people are one. And it tied us with a history and a culture way before Europe. So when you look at, you add that book now to with Walter Rodney, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And then we start digging and learning, but hold on. Our history didn't start with slavery. Slavery interrupted our history.
Yes.
So that he was able to concretize that. So we understood the kind of pride and self-determination, and almost everything he said and did was to remind us of who we were and the legacy that we have, where so many things were around to erase it as much as possible. But he single-handedly, and then with the collective movement that was created, that's where the whole process I wouldn't say started, but look, resistance was always there, huh?
Right.
There was always semblance of resistance, but he concretized it because once you start writing things down, documenting things in newspapers, in books, you give it solidarity, you concretize it. So that Black identity, you can't talk about Black identity without, you can't go around them.
And I love how you mentioned the whole,
because there's a wonderful proverb that says, when the reason why the hunter killed the lion is because lions haven't yet learned how to write. So when lions learn how to write, the books will end differently. And in the end, we ate the hunter, So the fact that the notion to, and that's what that bothers me so much, that he took the time to write it down, publish it, and the fact that none of it has seeped into our national culture, the context in which he, and in fact, I use the same frame of reference, when all this talk about making Bob Marley a national hero.
Yes.
I said, not on my watch, all right? Because Garvey has everything written out, and not one word from Garvey's philosophy and opinion, all the opinions and all the modules, all the proposals that he made, kept it into our life and work. Yeah? So can you imagine Marley, all of Marley's works and so on? Yeah, we pull it out where we need to talk about his music and so on. But in terms of the only Caribbean leader almost systematically, Maya Motley.
Yes.
You hear her, she quotes Marley. But not just Marley, all our writers. She's a Caribbean person.
Oh gosh,
she's a literate person. She's a scholar. To be born on the same day, and I was born in the middle of a Hurricane Charlie.
What?
And it's one of Garvey's quote, look for me in the storm.
That's right.
Huh? Look for me in the storm. So that as I grew up with that consciousness and so on, and then even when my consciousness took me one step further now to give back the slave master his name, because I know how come the name that my grandfather and great grandfather had was a function of the plantation that was on. So that I decided I can't pass that on to my children. So I have to break that cycle. And when I turned my name around and incorporated the Swahili word for storm or hurricane as my middle name, my name means the one who came with the storm to turn things around.
Aye.
So it's a conscious decision. I live Garvey. There's some people who talk about they follow Garvey, you know, and there are no, I live Garvey. I try to be a living testimony of the things that Garvey spoke about in terms of identity and how a collective self-determination and so many things have shaped from it. There's a wonderful line again. This line goes back to Malcolm X. So the fact that a cat has kittens in an oven, you don't call them biscuits, right? And
Yes.
if you notice that, look at right here in Jamaica, the Chinese have been here for almost as long as us. The Indians have been here, huh? But we call them Indians still. They're still Indian by identity. They're still Chinese by identity. They're Jamaicans by nationality, all right?
Right.
But many of our people still have a little problem with being black, being African. So that's where Garvey's work has been useful in helping us to break that. And so many things he concretized in words, you know, that if you don't know your history, you can't determine your future. The importance of the pen and the word, all of those concrete issues that he helped us to make sense of.
Yes.
And almost every liberation movement across the continent of Africa, every movement for independence, they attributed to the Garvey ignited that fire in them. There's a concept called Sankofa.
Yes.
Return and fetch. Go back and bring forward that which you were. And to me, I can't think of anything more powerful, because if you're starting from zero, you know, anything times zero is zero, right?
That's right.
So, but if you know you're starting from kingdoms and scholarship. By the way, I started a school in the 80s for my children, first of all, you know, and I named it the Sankore, because there was a Sankore in Timbuktu. You see, many of us Jamaicans know the word Timbuktu. Why? It's far like Timbuktu, but we don't know what that means, because Timbuktu, the Mali Empire, was the principal place of learning in the world. So people had to go as far as Timbuktu in order to gain that kind of scholarship. So by me naming my school Sankore, again, to tie us back to that initial glory and scholarship and so on without any apology. So that Garvey, so even Garvey's pageantry, huh? Some people, you know, look at it as a game and so on, but it was necessary at that time, huh? To create that pageantry and the dress up and so on. I mean, to really get people to see themselves way beyond as being coming just from the cane piece.
Yes. Far from being a caricature, it's an expression, because that happens in every other culture, especially those that have been sanctified in air quotes. It's acceptable. So if it is in
Absolutely.
another thing, it is, oh, it's amazing, it's awesome, it's a phenomenon. But then people kind of, you know, even working in the international community, I've seen that where, you know, you catch the most kind of retreating after them kind of gimmicking because of somebody's headgear, which is
Yes.
made of
Yes.
cotton
Yes.
and is colorful, so it's attractive, it is comfortable, it breathes, but all they see is from the bush.
Yeah. So I really wish that we would do not just trot Garvey out on his birthday, but
Yes.
there's basis of which, with all the scholarship, all the thought that went into his thinking about how we can become better as a people and the power of collectivism and so on. All of those things, it is a deprivation that we have not incorporated these things into the collective will of our people, because there are those who don't wish for this. In fact, that is the the weakest link in terms of the Jamaican consciousness, that power of the collective. And you're sure there are those, who don't mind if we just, we call it, we can run fast and we can jump high and we can sing music. But what if we start to think the kind of thoughts that Garvey talked about, controls our destiny?
Yes.
That becomes trouble for some people. But me not stopping, boss. Me can't stop now because I was born into it.
Yes.
And I make it's my living testimony that the work of Garvey, the fire that he lit, some of us have to keep it burning.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that word, calling us to attention. And just, not just internalize it, but act on it. Dr. Leahcim Semaj, psychologist, author, speaker, consultant, and very much a man who lives in the tradition of the man who shares his birthday, or whose birthday he shares one birthday. Yes, the intervention on Garvey and his legacy. Warm wishes to you, my brother. And of course, the memories will continue to be with us. And bless up yourself on the double celebration tomorrow, because we love that for you, and we appreciate what you've shared with us here today.
Absolutely. We give thanks.
Fellow and future CCRP members, friends and listeners, until next Sunday at 3 for all things CCRP, visit our website at ccrponline.org. Like or follow us on YouTube and all socials at CCRP Jamaica. The Caribbean Community of Retired Persons CCRP is a non-profit membership organization for persons 40 years old and over, retired or preparing for retirement. This program is proudly brought to you by Juicy Patties, always serving the land we love. From serving seriously good Jamaican food to empowering our communities, Juicy is proud to nourish Jamaica in every way.